Flight 73 was hijacked by 4 terrorists from the Abu Dhabi organization. Then,
हाईजैक
after
करने
16
वाले आतंकवादियों से
hours,
लगभग 15 घंटों की लगातार बातचीत के बाद भी कोई हल निकल नहीं पाया। बताया जा रहा है कि ये आतंकवादी पैलेस्टीन के अबू दिदाल ग्रुप से हैं। विमान के अपहृत यात्रियों और कर्मचारियों में
ए लाडो, देख तेरी ऐड आ रही है टीवी पे। कितनी आंटी लग रही है तू।
मॉडलिंग इतनी अच्छी चल रही तेरी, ये एयर होस्टेस का जॉब छोड़ क्यों नहीं देती? I like my job.
Jehdeep, I miss you. Bye.
And then after 16 hours, the terrorists started shooting.
Good morning, captains. I'm Neerja. I'm your head purser today.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard Pan Am 73 to New York via Karachi and Frankfurt.
Have a safe flight.
Thank you so much.
अजीब सी घबराहट हो रही थी।
लाडो का प्लेन वो कराची गया था ना, तो वो हाईजैक हो गया।
और नीरजा?
Open door!
दरवाजा बंद करो।
इसकी कुंडली में लिखा था कुल का दीपक बनेगी ये।
सर, मैं सिर्फ अपना काम कर रही हूँ, अपना फर्ज निभा रही हूँ।
कहता ये पल खुद से निकल जीते हैं चल जीते
film, what we both of us, Akhil and I, we believe in it, is that we are grateful to the team which has made this film. Shabana ji, Ram ji, Sonam ji,
So weird.
Atul Kasbaker is not here today, but he's the foundation. He's a person who talked to us about the film. Now, why I'm saying we are grateful is because we believe that what they've done is not only made a film, but they've done a major service to the community. And let me explain why I say that. The youth of today, you people like you, were not aware of Neerja at all. What had happened, what was she, what did she stand for? Now, by making this film, they given an opportunity to the youth to see this movie and understand that there is nothing in the world to be scared of, that you can conquer fear. And to my mind, that is the biggest gratitude we have for them, that they've actually done this and implemented it. And now on the 19th, there's the opportunity to see this. Nothing to fear. Overcome your fears. Do well in life. And that itself is a huge plus for us.
Amazing. Let's hear.
I was 30 years old when this incident happened, but anyway, I don't like to recall this incident. I don't even think about it very often. Sure. I remember her as the fun-loving, music freak, a joyful person, a person with an uncontrollable laugh. That's the way I recollect her. I don't think of, because I think this incident was an exception in her life. Her life was not like that. Her life was fun-loving, and it was great, enjoyable.
So it's we have spoken to the family about what they were not on the plane. So we've also spoken to a lot of the passengers who were on the plane. So the research was, of course, about Neerja, but also about what really happened in those 16 hours. At the same time, it's unfathomable because there are some people who are in one section, there are some people who are on the other section. So there are obviously differing views about how did they go through that 16 hours. And I think our biggest responsibility and something that I am deeply, deeply burdened by in my conscience and my heart and my soul is, have I done justice to what happened during those 16 hours? I don't think that there's, in my mind, there is no question of liberty, because there are different kinds of truths. There's psychological truth, there's biographical truth, there is emotional truth, there is historical truth, there is truth that you have created, perhaps, because it is now so many years later that people are speaking about it. When we speak to them, that their memory, in fact, is creating its own truth. And I like all these truths. I think we should embrace these truths. There is no one truth. And as long as there is one feeling, truth is actually, too much is made of truth. I think what we're really here is to try and see, what did it feel like for these people to go through what they did? And my responsibility is really to those passengers, to the survivors. And what we did is that we had, while we were shooting, we made a shamiana which we called as a sacred space, where every day people would gather. We had a photograph of Neerja, we would light a diya. When people got onto that plane, I think that the responsibility was that was communicated to all 500 people on this team, that we're not here just to make a movie, that there is a huge responsibility, not just on our shoulders, but on everybody's shoulders which is there on that team. And the sincerity of that, I think, came through to the people, and I'm hoping very much that in the continuing conversation that we will have after the film is released, and it is a conversation. This is not, there are no full stops to this, it is a conversation. And I'm hoping that our sincerity and honesty and earnestness will come through, which is beyond reality and fact.
No, I prepare very hard. I prepare very hard.
How spontaneously did that
She
come?
really prepares, she rehearses. It's incredible.
But, you know, my own standard was my mother's performance in Garm Hawa. Satyajit Ray had said about that performance that actually she should have won the national award that year. And there is a scene where her daughter is dead and she tears the cloth of the coffin. And it's a complete and total surrender and breakdown. And to me, that was the test. I had to get the truth of what she had captured in that moment. But really, you know, what happens, I think, is when the material in front of an actor is truthful, as was in the situation as it was written. And Ram was very particular that he didn't want to stick by the dialogue as it was written. And he gave the actors a free hand to say, Jo nikalta hai. I don't think I always agree with it. But being the daughter of a writer and the wife of a writer, I used to sort of say, oh, but that's what he used to always say, that just let it come. So I think actors have the ability, or are trained to have the ability, to touch an emotion if it is truthfully written and if its place in the script and the scene is truthful. So it's just that it was so beautifully written that it was a trigger point that I didn't really have to tap deep inside me. It sort of just came out.
I'm just going to add to that for a minute, because I just want to say that to get to that line, to get to what is written, to get to the spirit of that truth, of that moment, sometimes means that you have to forget the line, and there are ways in which you have to forget the line and then you have to make it your own. So I respect the writer a lot, but I think there are the industrial handcuffness of following a script versus actually following the spirit of the script is really what we were all trying to achieve in trying to get to that truth. Yeah, I know that sounds very complicated, the industrial handcuff of filmmaking. I'll explain some other day, I'm not going to explain now.
I'm always nervous, I'm always afraid, you know that. I remember when I met you in Chandigarh, I was like, I have to go on stage and talk. I'm always scared, but when you have a purpose, there's a beautiful line in an Ayn Rand book, and I do not endorse Ayn Rand, okay, at all. She was someone I read when I was 16, and I completely disagree with her, but there was a line that stood out in her book. It was a man without a purpose is the most depraved sort of human being. And when there's a purpose and when there is an end game, eventually the fear can either drive you or make you kind of go into yourself. But sometimes the fear actually can give you courage, and it can, exactly like it says in the film. So I was fearful. I was like, this is a humongous mammoth task, but there was a purpose to this film. There's an integrity and idealism that Ram has, which I felt while he was speaking to me about the film, while he was making. So I drew from that, and I knew that there was a purpose to this film. There was a purpose to why the Bhanot family wanted this film to be made, and there's a purpose to everybody involved in the film. So I felt that why should I be afraid? I should actually go out there and make this my purpose as well, to make sure that the bravery, the compassion, and the sense of purpose that this girl has needs to come. Everyone has it. It's just about drawing it out. But the special thing about Neerja, I don't know, some people are just like that. I feel we all have it. It's whether we have the strength to draw from it or not, or whether we have the purity in us to draw from it or not. I hope that Neerja inspires people to be like that. It's definitely inspired my brother Harsh. He's going on and on about it. He's not being able to sleep. He's like, what am I doing? I need to do something different. I need to do something. And he's 24 years old, 25 years old. And a 25-year-old saying that this film, I believe, is made for young people of India. I truly believe that, because it has inspired me. I'm a young person of India. It inspired me. And since India is predominantly young, I hope it inspires India itself.
Absolutely. We are hoping
to do our duty. I think we all have a duty. We all as young people have a duty. There are lots of terms that have been used all over India right now, and it's become trendy. And I know about trends, like everybody knows. Anti-national, intolerance, tolerance, God knows what not. And everybody's been asking me to comment. And I'm the first person to comment on anything that I feel is relevant. But at this point, I just feel as Indians, we have a duty towards humanity. And something like intolerance, all these words, again, that are very, very trendy, is the first time I'm not okay with being on trend. And I just feel it's a disease that has affected the world. Whether it's homophobia, sexism, intolerance, being anti-national, it's not only relevant in India, it's relevant everywhere. And as young people, I hope Neerja, as a film, inspires us to do our duty, because that's what she was about. Duty, compassion, and self-respect. And this is about humanity. And I know Ram keeps saying it's an Indian film, but that's what we as Indians stand for. Tolerance. We have all sorts of religions in our country, and we've been extremely tolerant of everything that happens. And I hope this trend continues on.